Now I know what you're thinking. I'm here for the scale modeling. Why am I looking at a dude in a washing machine during the spin cycle? Well, you're partly correct. This is a bit of a different video than usual, as this is an off the sprue special edition. Guys, if you've been watching my videos and if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I like to detail my military models with small details like rations, and the modeling world provides us with all sorts of MREs, MRE boxes, and a host of other things that we can use to add that special detail to all our work. Recently I was given the rare opportunity to see real US military MREs close up. These were sent to me by my friend Chris. Many of you will know him on Instagram as Braille Scale. And guys, in addition to being a super nice guy, Chris is also a fantastic scale modeler, and I'm a big fan of his work. Of course, Chris is an army veteran. He served in Afghanistan, and he currently serves in the National Guard. And he was kind enough to send me a few of these MRE samples that they use in the military. So this video is not purely scale modeling oriented like all my other ones. This is something a bit different. I'll be taking a look at MREs in general. For those who want to continue, I've got some information on an upcoming kayaking trip, some of the gear that we use, and do stick around for that if you are interested. But as I say, this is not the regular, the usual off the sprue. This is something a bit different. The first bag is the standard one as it is issued, and no modifications at all. And let's take a look what we will find in this bag. First item to draw my eye is this electrolyte beverage powder, fruit punch. We have some trail mix. This is chocolate pudding dessert powder. This looks interesting. Of course, the brown spoon. This is special hot sauce. And then chocolate peanut butter. This little bag contains coffee, sugar, sweetener. Here we go. These are some crackers. I think they will go with the spread, I think. And then we also have the famous chemical heater, the MRE heater, that you just add some water. And guys, it actually does say put this against a rock or something. I find that hilarious. But there you go. There's also a bag for hot beverages and water included in this. And then we have the main meal, in this case cheese tortellini in tomato sauce. Certainly sounds very tasty. Definitely going to sample that. And this is also on the front of the famous MRE bag, the one I've seen in so many reference pictures. Now the second two bags is made up the way that Chris's infantry unit would do this, and basically they stripped out all the unnecessary items, because ounces equal pounds. You all know that saying. And the way they would pack for a 3 or 4 day mission would include these items. You just check if there's nothing in there. No, that's it. So the first is main meals, a couple of them, actually 4 of them. And this makes perfect sense to me, because if there's not a lot of time to eat, you'd want to make the most of each meal. So some of the side items, these are cranberries sliced. Sounds very interesting. Next up, a few tortillas. And of course, here's the famous First Strike energy bar. Curious to try that. The brown spoon that we know by now. And folks, then behold, jalapeno cheese spread, the original. Guys, this stuff is legendary. There we go. That is the first pack. Let's take a look at the second one. First item here are toasted corn kernels. That sounds very interesting. I've never had that. Again, we've got our trail mix. One of the main meals. Let's have a look. There are quite a few of them. About 4 or 5 of these. We have some more cheese spread, always a very versatile item, the brown spoon. So first up, the first main meal. This is sloppy joe filling. This is awesome. I mean, this can be used in so many ways. Next we have some beef ravioli. This is an interesting one, cherry cobbler. I've never had this. Might be interesting. Some more cheese tortellini. And then finally, some pears. I suppose this is similar to what you would find in a can in the civilian world. Guys, this is such a special treat for me. This stuff is not available in my country, and given my interest in scale modeling, something like this is just blows my mind. Thanks, Chris, for this very special gift that you've given me. I thought it would be interesting just to show you how this matches up with the South African military MREs that's issued to the military in my country. And you'll notice it was influenced very strongly by the American MREs. The packaging looks very similar. Now I should add, this is a large pack and it was packed for the civilian market. So the amounts and the selection might not be the same as you would find in a genuine military pack, but nonetheless, let's have a look. We've got these bags similar to the ones in the US MRE, water bags. This is our version of the famous chemical heater. Works in exactly the same way. And by the way, if you're wondering, yes, there is a GoPro on my head. This is the shot. I was trying something, and to be honest, I like the static camera better. This is the isotonic drink. We have some raisins. This is quite nice. This is tropical muesli with milk. You just add water, and this is great for breakfast. We have some cookies, and honestly, these are huge cookies, also sealed in. What is this? This is chocolate drink, much like a hot chocolate drink, perhaps. Some more muesli, granola fruit snack, very similar to trail mix, and a second pack of cookies, fruit OTs. I believe these are much the same as the other ones. What else do we have? Yeah, this little packet. In here we will find an energy bar, similar to the First Strike bar, same idea. This little packet contains 2 water purification tablets. Can't go without those. What else do we have? This, I suspect this is peanut butter, I'm not sure. By the way, I suspect that this is exported to an Arab country. There's quite a lot of Arabic on these packets. We've got some sterilizing wipes, 2 of them. There's one more. You have to be clean. And then some salt and pepper and some extra plastic bags. In the other bag, what do we have here? This seems to be coffee creamer. There we go, that's some creamer. What else do we have? Some more coffee creamer. Again, this is packed for the civilian market, not necessarily for military. This is some tea. This is an ordinary tea bag. Some more tea. And this is sugar, I believe. Quite a few packets of sugar in here. And then finally, what is this? This is coffee. This is coffee powder. Yeah, there you go. And then of course finally we have the main meal, in this case vegetable and beef curry. All this stuff obviously very heavily influenced by the US MREs. And one of the things I find interesting about MREs is the way the manufacturers would try to incorporate the traditional dishes, traditional food of every country. And in the South African ration packs you will find this. So this is maize porridge. The Afrikaans word for that is pap. And if you wonder what pap looks like, this is some we cooked up the other night to serve with a barbecue. And yeah, this is one of the uniquely South African things that you will find in our MREs. Guys, so that's it for MREs at this point. If at this point you want to move on to something else, that's cool. However, if you are interested in kayaking and some of the things we use, do stick around. I'll be showing you some of the gear that I'll be using in the upcoming trip. As I mentioned earlier, these MREs will go perfectly on an upcoming kayaking trip. In my hobby room, I have this great big old map of South Africa, and right in the middle, we've actually marked out all our trips. And right in the middle of the country, you will find the section of the river that we'll be paddling. The Orange River is one of the biggest rivers in South Africa. We'll be doing a section from a town called Hope Town, starting just below the Iron Bridge, and we'll be paddling downstream. This is where the fun starts. These are all rapids. These white sections on Google Earth, they indicate rapids. Some of them are huge, some of them not so big. Quite intimidating if you have to do them the first time, I have to admit. Camping is basically anywhere you can find a flat spot next to the river, and also depending on the amount of effort that you put in the day before. One of the really unique things is the rock formations. This is an incredibly arid part of my country. Basically it's desert, and the Orange River cuts through this dry landscape. What's very unique is these black rocks that you find on the banks of the river. Finally, 2 or 3 days later, our trip will end in agricultural country on a farm called the Kalk, and there we'll meet up with these vehicles. So there we go, 3 or 4 day stretch of the Orange River. So let's go outside and I'll show you the gear. These are the kayaks. I've got mine and the missus has her own. Everything that we need needs to fit into these kayaks in the hulls. So there's one at the front, one at the back. I'll be doing all the filming from GoPros, and these are fitted on the boat on surfboard mounts. I'll be taking 2 GoPros. One is a GoPro Session, and then the other one is a Hero 8 Black. And these do pretty well. I've got some lens wipes just to clean off the lenses, some extra batteries. This is a nifty little tripod that works well when we're at camp, just to take some static shots. There we go. We have some more memory cards, essential. I've got a head strap for this, and this is quite handy to film sort of from the cockpit footage. And then finally some USB cables. I've also got a large power bank that I'll be charging all these equipment from. Then this goes into a mesh bag right on top of the kayak, and inside the pelican case they will be dry. These kayaks are quite comfortable. They've got very nice seats. It allows you to recline or sit upright. There's a little bit of space inside just for a water bottle, not a lot of space. So one has to be very careful in the way you pack. Now it's almost inevitable that at some point of the trip you are going to leave your boat. And if you do exit your boat and anything not secured with a piece of string is going either to the bottom of the river or slowly towards the Atlantic Ocean. It is an essential piece of equipment. My personal life preserver, PFD. And on the front there's also this very handy pouch. I've got a compass on a string here. This helps in open water, like on dams and estuaries. And also a whistle, signaling. This is the hat that I'll be wearing, British style short brimmed boonie hat, and this needs to be secured to my life vest with a string just so it doesn't go swimming. So there we go, that's some personal equipment. Everything else in the boat needs to be packed into a dry bag similar to these. We've got different sizes, and we've actually found that the smaller bags tend to pack easier than one large bag. You might have seen these before. They actually seal up watertight. If you roll it about 3 times and you click it into place, it's very much secure and guaranteed to be waterproof. This goes into the hull, the front or the back. My meals for the day, including these MREs, will probably go into this little bag. This is also a small dry bag that I keep in the cockpit itself, and it's also secured by a piece of string to the inside of the boat in case I capsize. Now, sometimes you have to rescue either yourself or your friend, and these are closed kayaks, so if they do fall over, if they do capsize, you need to be able to pump out the water, and that's why a bilge pump like this is essential. And again, this is secured to the boat with a safety cord. Speaking of safety, your paddle basically is life, it's propulsion, and if you lose that, you are very much screwed. So a paddle leash like this is essential. It connects and disconnects very easily. Some of the other equipment I can show you is these pouches, first aid and what I call a survival or repair pouch. Of course, they also go into dry bags, absolutely essential. The boat hulls by themselves won't keep things dry. The first aid pouch should be familiar to most people. Just includes some basic first aid supplies, some dressings, some personal medication. This little pouch basically goes on all our trips. In here I've got a maritime rescue beacon. Of course, I've checked all the batteries are still good. And these are some safety matches, waterproof matches. A few other goodies in here. First being a notebook and a pencil. Some water purification supplies. This is some duct tape. And I've got some chem lights in here, always useful to have. Some string. These are some of the bags from the ration packs, and they're useful just to collect water, carry it back to camp if you have nothing else. This is kind of my shit hits the fan kind of pouch. Opposite end, I've got a little candle there, helps in fire starting. And in this little case, I've got some needle and thread, a wire saw, and I've got some, what else do we have here? This is a scalpel blade, also useful to have, a whistle, magnifying glass to start a fire, also some cash, always a handy thing to have around. This little bag contains some paracetamol, some salt, some burn dressings. What else do we have? This is a signal mirror and also an emergency blanket. All essential supplies. And then finally some zip ties, some cable ties. You can use that to repair anything. And finally some of the other equipment I'll be using. First is a Leatherman tool, very versatile tool to take along. Some paracord, just to string things up back at camp. A camping hatchet, and then finally a Garmin Fortrix GPS. Now this is a guided tour, but it's always just good to know how many kilometers you've paddled that day, and just for your own basic navigation. Guys, so this is it for the first edition video. There's still a lot of packing to do. I have to go through all these MREs and see what I'll be taking along, also determine what the missus will be willing to eat. I'll be filming some footage on the trip itself, taste testing a few of these MRE items, and I'll be checking back in with part 2 of the special edition videos and reporting back on the trip soon.